Hello student. So let us start our discussion. In previous tutorial or in previous video, we have discussed the asynchronous data transfer using handshaking. So in this tutorial, we will try to discuss what is asynchronous serial transfer. Okay, so we will try to understand the circuit for same. Here in asynchronous serial transfer, data will be transferred serially. Okay, so by default, line will be, or you can say data line will be kept on the one. Okay, so how this asynchronous serial transfer will work? Okay, so first of all, let me tell you that in synchronous transfer, there will be common clock between sender and receiver. Okay, while in asynchronous serial transfer, there won't be any common clock. And in synchronous transfer, periodically sender and receiver will communicate using clocks to maintain the synchronization of data transfer. Okay, so in asynchronous data transfer, there won't be any that kind of mechanism. Okay, so let us try to understand that what is asynchronous serial transfer. Now here in asynchronous serial transfer, the data will be transferred in form of character. Okay, character means 8-bit. So initially this channel will be kept on high. Okay, so then receiver will receive the start bit. So what is start bit? So for 1 bit, if channel is set to 0, okay, that means it indicates the start bit. Then after start bit, there will be 8 bit of characters. Okay, or we can say 8 bit of data. And after 8 bit of data, there will be again stop bit. So what is stop bit? So at least 1 or 2 bit will be kept high. Okay, so let's say that this is the communication channel, then this is transmitter, or you can say sender, and this is receiver. So sender will send or sender will make the value of channel to 0 for 1 bit. Okay, and then it will send 8 bit of data. Then after 8 bit of data, then again sender will put the communication channel to high. Okay, so receiver will assume that now transmission is over. Okay, so after 8 bit, there will be stop bit for you can say 2 bit or 2 clock pulse. Okay, so this is how asynchronous data transfer will work. Okay, so the stop bits are always in the on state and frame the end of the character to signify the idle or wait state. Means this stop bit represent that now channel will be the idle. Now let us try to understand that how actually computer will perform the asynchronous serial transfer. Okay, so to perform this asynchronous serial transfer, computer will use UART. Okay, it is known as UART, Universal Asynchronous Receiver Transmitter. Now, while asynchronous serial transfer will be discussed, okay, there is a terminology called baud rate. So, what is this baud rate? Baud rate means number of bits transmitted per second. Okay, so in 1 second, let's say 11 bits are transferred over. Okay, here 1 bit start, then let's say 2 bit stop, and 8 bit data. So we can say the baud rate is 11. Okay, so 11 characters will be 11 bits will be transferred into second. So now let us try to focus on the UART. Okay, so what is UART? So in case of UART, first of all, CPU will initialize the control register. Okay, so it will set certain details into the control register. Okay, and then it will forward the or then it will you can say start the transmission. Okay, so here there will be the transmitter clock, and here there is a control register. So first of all, CPU will set the uh, you can say control register. So to now to start the you can say transmission. Yes, what will happen at next? In next, let us try to focus that how transmission or this how this data will be accepted. So means how this data will be accepted into transmitter register and how it will be sent. So a CPU will place data into the bus buffer, okay, and then that data will be transferred into the transmitter register. Okay, so now this transfer will be parallel. Okay, so this will be the parallel input. Now here same that parallel input will be given to shift register. Okay, and then shift register will convert this into the serial and then it will send the serial data. Okay, so this will convert 8-bit parallel input into the 8-bit serial input plus starting bit and ending bit. So this shift register will convert this parallel into serial. So I think you people try to if you people try to recall, then there is a type of register parallel input and serial output. Okay, so there are basically four: parallel input, parallel output, serial output, parallel input, serial output, and serial input and parallel output. So here shift register will take the parallel input and it will send the serial output. Okay, now next thing, how receiver will receive the input. So it will be reversed to this. Okay, here bit by bit 0 1 0 1 whatever binary data is there, it will be received into the shift register. Serially it will be received into the shift register. After that receiving data serially, again this shift register will convert that serial data into the parallel data. Okay, so here there will be again that type of register which will take serial input and parallel output. So then it will be stored into receiver register, and then from receiver register it will be forwarded to the bus buffer. Okay, clear with this? Yes. Now next is status bit. So this status bit or status register is used to receive some additional information. Okay, so for example parity and stop bit, so those kind of additional information will be received into the status register. Okay, so computer can verify the data with the receiver register, and if certain conditions are not fulfilled, then it will set the value accordingly. Okay, now after this let us discuss that what is this timing control and timing signal. Okay, so this is actually you can say timing and control unit or controller of this UART interface. Okay, so as we have discussed in previous topic, the main element will be the chip select. Okay, if the value of chip select is let's say 0, okay, then entire interface will be in high impedance state or disconnected state. Okay, so then this interface will work whenever value of CS or chip select is 1. Here combination RS, okay, so register select RS will be combined with the IO read and IO write. Okay, so let's say value of CS is 1, okay, and then register select and this operation. Okay, so which operation will be performed? Okay, so let's say value of RS is 1, register select is 1, and this operation is right, means value of IO write is 1. So at that time transmitter register will work. Okay, TX register, this register will comes into the picture. So whatever operation will be performed means data will be written into the transmitter register, and then from serial it will be transferred to destination. Here let's say here, okay, sorry, this is for RS. So register select 0 and then write operation, then register select 1 and write operation. Okay, here also it is write operation. So register select 1, okay, and write operation. So in that case control register will be selected. So whatever control information, let's say CPU want to generate or CPU want to pass it to the IO device via interface. Okay, so at that time value of RS will be set to 1 and value of write will be set to 1. Okay, if RS value of RS 0 and write, then it will select the transmitter register, and 1 and write, then it will select the control register. Similarly, if value of register select is 0, okay, and read line is enabled, okay, read line is enabled, in that case receiver register will be used. Okay, so we can say that whenever CPU wants to perform any input, okay, via interface, okay, then it will select the value of RS as 0 and it will enable the IO read pin. Then next is 1 and read. So at that time this status register will be selected. Okay, so whenever CPU wants to know the status of any status of a device, okay, then CPU will issue this command, means value of RS will be 1 and value of IO read will be 1. Okay, so by enabling this both pin, it will know the status of IO device. Okay, so let us try to quickly write. Okay, here there will be the TX register. Here there will be the control register. Next is receiver register. And next is status register. Okay, so after discussing this, let us try to see that how CPU will perform the input and output operation. Okay, so whenever CPU wants to send any data, okay, so it will set the status bit of TX to let's say CPU has placed the data and current value of TX is 1. Okay, so what will happen, bit by bit, that means in parallel that data will be stored into shift register, and after shifting this data from transmission register to shift register, it will be again set to 0. Okay, so this will be set to 0. So as soon as CPU will detect that this register is empty, by checking the status, CPU will again transfer the next 8-bit data into the transmission register. Okay, so this is how data transfer will take place, and after again shift register will send 8-bit data, then this 8-bit of this transmission register or transmitter register will be stored into the shift register, and this will be set to 0. So again CPU will send it will put data into the transmitter register. Here you can see 8-bit data will be stored into transmitter register, as well as another 8-bit data, means character, will be stored into the shift register. So that is known as doubled buffer. That is known as double buffer. Okay, why it is known as double buffer? Because one character is stored into the shift register and another character is stored into the transmission register. Now next thing is how CPU will receive the data. Okay, so let's say initially value of this receiver is 0. Okay, so it will not, computer will not read the data. then let's say there is a data from input device. So for first that data will be stored into the shift register, means that serial data will be converted into parallel, and then parallel it will be transferred to receiver register. And if CPU will detect that value of this flag is 1, then CPU will transfer that data from receiver register to the bus buffer. Okay, so as soon as CPU will transfer the data, on next 8-bit data or character will be transferred from shift register to receiver register. Okay, so this is how it will work. And after doing this, here CPU will also check the parity and stop bit. Okay, so which will be also used in status register. So this will be used to determine whether correct data is correctly received or not. Okay, so based on this status register, there can be three type of error. Okay, first error is parity. So parity error means if number or total number of 1 in let's say that 11 bit is even or odd. Okay, and if received number are different, let's say whenever transmitted from the let's say from destination, okay, or from source, okay, at that time number will even, okay, but after receiving due to some channel error the received number are, let's say, odd. Okay, so number of 1, okay, so number of 1 is even, and 0 is, let's say, odd. Okay, but after receiving it, it becomes even. So this result into the parity. Next is framing error. So what is framing error? Let's say many times what will happen that instead of receiving 2 or 3 stop bit, receiver will receive only 1 stop bit. Okay, so that is known as framing error. Right number of stop bits are not detected at the end of received character. So that is known as framing error. Next is overrun error. So when overrun error will occur, let's say sender is sending data with high speed and receiver is not able to process data in that much speed. So what will happen? Let's say while shifting the register means getting the data into the shift register and shifting data into receiver register. At that time, if there is any other 8 or 11 bit data is arrived, okay, then it won't be stored into the shift register. Why? Because currently it is processing the previously received 8-bit data. Okay, so this is known as overrun error. So it occurs if the CPU does not read the character from the receiver, okay, and before the next one become available into the shift register, and overrun error result into the loss of character in the received data stream. Okay, so while this is working on it, let's say this shift register has generated the data, it is shifted to receiver register, and new data means CPU is not reading data from this. Okay, so at that time these both registers are full, and if new character is arriving there, then it will be discarded. So this it will result into the loss of data. So this is known as overrun error. So this is how universal asynchronous receiver transmitter will work. A same interface will work as a transmitter as well as receiver. Okay, so in this video we will keep up to this. More we will discuss in next video. In next video we will discuss which are the modes of transfer. Thank you.